Hi, this is Sue. We're going to make a pink peppercorn crusted beef tenderloin that is to die for. You're absolutely going to love this dish. So we're going to start with the secret ingredient, which is the pink peppercorn. And we are putting them in a saute pan. Not that we're going to saute them, we're going to crush them with the back of another saute pan, just gently. Now we're going to make our crust. We're going to take our pink peppercorn, we'll put that in a bowl, and we're going to go ahead and mix that with 3 tablespoons of butter, some brown sugar, flour, and a little Dijon mustard. Now we've got our crust ready, and we're going to set that aside. And we're going to go ahead and heat up our pan so that we can brown the beef. The pan is good and hot, so we're going to go ahead and introduce our fat. We're going to start with a little extra virgin olive oil. Now we're going to add to that 3 tablespoons, okay, maybe 4, of butter. You can never have enough butter. The reason we put the olive oil there in the beginning too is to keep that butter from burning. So now that that is all melted in there, we're going to go ahead and take our beef, and we want to brown it on all sides. Only about a minute, maybe a minute and a half a side. See how it's getting nice and brown on one side? Why we're doing this step is to seal in the juices. Anytime you sear meat, it's simply to seal it all together. You kind of cook the outside slightly, and then the juices can't escape when you put them in the oven. Now that our beef is nice and browned, we're going to go ahead and put it in a glass casserole dish. We don't want to waste this wonderful sauce. It's the butter, it's the olive oil, but it also has those brown bits. So we're going to go ahead and deglaze the pan with a little red wine. And stand back when you do this because you're dealing with a hot pan. And it's going to make your kitchen a nice big mess, but that's okay. And to that pan, I'm also going to put 2 cups of beef stock. Of course, you always want to salt, not too much, just a little bit. We're going to taste it later to make sure we have the right balance. All right, while that's reducing, we're going to go back over to our beef tenderloin, and we're going to take that crust that we made earlier, and we're going to spread that over the beef. Once you start cooking this, some of the butter and some of the fat will drip off the side, and that's fine. That's going to be the drippings that we're going to use along with the sauce at the end. We've got the oven heated up to 350 degrees, and we're going to put that in the oven, for probably 5 minutes, and then we're going to test it. It should be complete in 10 or 15 minutes. But we always want to test it with a handy-dandy meat thermometer, and this is something that is critical to have in your kitchen. This is really the only way to tell if your meat is done. We're shooting for 125, 130 degrees. I think our tenderloin is done. But again, remember, we want to make sure we're looking for 125 or 130 degrees. So we'll go right over to our oven. Oh, that looks great. Remember too, when you take your beef out, or any kind of meat actually, a roast, it is going to go up a few degrees when you take it out, and that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and take this out and plate that, and we'll set that right there, and we're letting it rest. And while it's resting, we're going to finish off our sauce. Look at that wine, it's reduced really nicely. We're going to pull it off the heat for a minute because we're going to add a few more things, and we don't want it to reduce any more than it has. So we've got a little cornstarch, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. We also have some Worcestershire, and this is great. It's going to add a nice flavor. Put about 1.5 teaspoons in there. Okay, now we're going to put that back on the heat, and as I introduce the slurry, I'm going to make sure that I'm constantly stirring. It's going to make a nice thick sauce. Just put a little in at a time because you don't want the sauce to get too thick. And you can tell if it's the right thickness. If it sticks to the back of the spoon, you've got it just about right. You know, you want to make a lot of this up ahead and put it in a little container like a gravy boat or something on the side so people can utilize it later. But look how pretty that is. We want to garnish with some fresh herbs. Rosemary is a really nice herb for this dish. And there you have it. Great pink peppercorn crusted beef tenderloin. Thank you.